Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to the Heroes of the Storm PTR. Today I'm bringing you another bit of Alarak gameplay. So the first impressions video I did before, I think we got a bit of an insight into him, but hopefully this will give you a bigger insight into his strengths and weaknesses. This is obviously a game I played without having to commentate, so I was able to devote more attention to the actual game. I'm still not 100% by any means on landing his combo, but getting a little bit better, and I think I get some good plays in this game, so we will check those out. In case you haven't seen this video, the crux of how Alarak works, his trait, it just gives him, oh sorry, I've already taken a talent which is affecting this. It normally gives you 100% bonus damage to heroes. I did pick up the Applied Force talent at level 1, which is going to reduce the damage bonus of our sadism by 10%, so we're only getting 90% bonus damage to heroes, but it will make our telekinesis push heroes a little bit further. You see down here, in fact, the enemy Alarak getting caught out of position. Here comes telekinesis, there we go, pulling him back, knocking him back, and actually getting nice little first blood right there. And the fight is continuing. Tracer gets her low. Oh, this is going kind of crazy. We get the silence on the Vala. Pull her back too, just to make sure she can't escape. That's actually going to set up the Butcher for a charge. We need to back out at this stage, so the Butcher picks up the kill, almost kills the other Butcher, but we do die, and there we go. The reason we lost that fight is unfortunately that our Oriole is AFK. If she had been there, that would have gone incredibly well for us. Unfortunately, she isn't. She will be replaced by a bot for a lot of the game, but I believe the real Oriole does return at some stage, and that's pretty good. So going over Alarak's abilities, E, his Lightning Surge, it's a point and click. It will do damage to the target you click on and everyone between you and them. It's pretty good. It does pretty weak damage, but you know, it's a small little bit of nice poke against heroes and a little bit of self-sustain as well. Obviously in a team fight you want to be doing as much as possible. You can see right there actually my telekinesis. Let's actually talk about this because that was a little cool move you can do. This will create a force pushing yourself and all enemies from a targeted point towards the targeted direction. So I can choose within range here, okay, I want to push them down, or I want to push them back, or pull them towards me. Anything I want to do, I can do that. You can see there, for example, using it to defend the Vala. There, calm down, attempting to use it to defend our Butcher, knocking the enemy heroes away. Unfortunately, the Butcher had died before I got there. But that just gives you an idea of a few of the different sort of things you can do with this. His Q, Discord Strike, has a bit of a wind-up, does a lot of damage, and then silences for 1.5 seconds. So he actually plays very like Kerrigan, very much this ability damage hero. I think we killed her with the telekinesis. I'm not entirely sure. It might have been a Vala projectile that killed her. But anyway, I was trying to do just a little bit of damage to the telekinesis just for that. It's going to do 108 damage, well, just a little bit less because we got 90% bonus, but whatever, I don't know, 100-ish damage to a hero. So I was using that to hopefully pick up the kill. Don't know if that was what killed her, but anyway, there we go. You definitely have a very much a Kerrigan combo to how he plays. You can pull heroes towards you with telekinesis, and then as they're being pulled towards you, charge up and fire off that Discord Strike to hopefully land a sort of guaranteed hit, get a big burst of damage off and silence them, leave them in a tough position. You can see up here the Butcher is in a rough spot. Enemy Alarak does pick up the kill. We're going to get a nice bit of damage down on the enemy Sylvanas. As you'll have seen, I've landed the last couple of Discord Strikes thanks to our level 4 talent, which is Double Cross. Increases range by 25%, just makes it a little bit bigger. Definitely makes it a lot easier to land that ability. And then you also hit sort of perpendicularly. It's like the, you know, the new lightsaber from Star Wars? It's like that. There it is. You see the little bits that come out to the side. It's pretty cool. And you can see the power of the burst combo there on the Vala. And even with a Lily there to support, and in fact there was a Sylvanas there too, Tracer is able to come in and pick her off. Unfortunately the enemy Alarak does rotate down and pick off the Tracer in the end. But there you go. And yeah, he functions very like Kerrigan. However, unlike Kerrigan, I think you've got a bit more flexibility in breaking your combo, as in using the abilities separate from each other. It's probably easier to land Discord Strike than it is the Kerrigan Impaling Blades without the combo. And then telekinesis obviously being able to push heroes away as well as pull them towards you. There's kind of more utility to how you're using that. Anyway, I'm going to pop in here, grab this for the team. They were kind of just juking it out there in the middle of the map around here, and that's fine. Again, we have a bot Oriole still, so we need to be pretty careful. The bot Oriole seems to be pretty effective at her job, I have to say. She's not too shabby, so that's pretty good. If you're going to get anyone as a bot, you want her. Unfortunately, the Butcher does die up top. Tracer looking for a possible thing. There was the combo. Now I missed it, but that's the idea of the combo. You pull them towards you and you fire off your Q as well. Obviously the weakness of this combo, or the way to counter it, is the same as how you counter the Kerrigan combo. Moving kind of perpendicularly to where she wants to come from. It's going to really help you out. So for example, let's say between me and the Vala, I want to pull her towards me and hit her with the Q. If she moves to the side, It's very narrow, this telekinesis. It's very difficult to hit this, actually. A very narrow little skill shot. So it's very much easy to be able to dodge that. Unfortunately, Tracer does die. Just ensuring that Vala can't get away by knocking her back. The Butcher is there as well, but we'd use the Q to finish her off for good. At level 7, I did pick up the Chaos Reigns talent. I'm actually in two minds about this because, as you see, like getting a fair few of these combos, but also missing a few. It is kind of difficult to finish this quest. You're not going to finish it until later in the game. For example, right there, actually not casting the W and then casting the Q. It was just out of range of the W, so I didn't actually cast it. But yeah, I don't know. I think this quest will get better and better as you can see the stacks over here. We've only got one. So it is difficult to land. You can see there, not quite aiming that quite right. It is a very narrow skill shot, so it can be difficult to land on the edges of it. But definitely, the more practice you get at this character, the better you're going to be. You can see this is a bit of a chaotic fight right here. Coming through, trying to knock them back. All my stuff's on cooldown, not able to do too much. We're taking a few hits as we retreat. But down the bottom, our teammates do pick up a kill on the Tracer, so well played by them. Vala's in here in a bit of a risky position. She is just about going to survive, so that's good news. Just going for the combo on the Vala, seeing if we could maybe pick her off with a bit of burst, but I do miss once again. But yeah, I mean, this talent, obviously, it's going to add a ton of damage later in the game, but it's just the problem of getting there. It can certainly be tricky, but I mean, the more games you sink into Alarak, I think it's pretty hard to land that combo at the start. We're not going to pick this up because Lily was taking that. There we go, pretty nice. I'm just kind of lurking here, waiting to see if anyone roams down. I see someone is, so I'm going to make a move in. There, Alarak is here. There we go. Vulnerable for a Q. Knock him back with a W then, just separately. Don't need to combo them together. Tracer is able to pick up the kill. Very nice. And then we finish her off with some basic attacks. Didn't quite need to use the Q there. She had died already, but pretty good overall. Nice moves by the team, getting a double kill. The enemy team does have the shrines under control, but we're going to take them back. Pretty much no problem. I'm going to use this opportunity to Hearthstone. Get some mana back. And there you go. Let's zoom out and let's inspect the map a little bit. Looks like there's a fight going on down here. So Tracer's going to die down here. Anyway, the talent I picked up at level 10, the heroic of choice, is going to be Deadly Charge. I think this is probably your best one at this level. It's very, very good. So you channel up, it takes, you can channel for up to 1.6 seconds, and the longer you channel, the further it will go. If you take any damage, it does interrupt that channel. Or you can put a move order in if you want to cancel it. And it does quite a lot of damage. So really, I think the ideal way you're going to play Alarak is, you know, spot a team fight, dash in on top of the enemies, and even like land the Q on top of them after you've dashed through them when they're not expecting you. So doing a whole ton of AoE damage, silencing them. You can see up here, there's this big old fight going on. That's actually all 5 enemy heroes. So our allies are going to die. In fact, 3 of them are going to die, but that means we get a Dragon Knight. So although the enemy get a nice bit of XP, we're going to get a whole ton of structural damage, and that's pretty good. Anyway, using this Dragon Knight, pretty straightforward. Looks like the enemy team is making a push of their own. So they're getting comparable return damage, actually. That's fair enough. Tracer, though, is kind of pushing down the bottom as well. That's nice. So I'm just going to focus on taking out those towers. The fire will finish that one off. And then I'm going to rotate down towards the bottom to take out the last... these 2 towers as well. So that's what I like to do with the first Dragon Knight. I suppose we're fairly, you know, we're about 8 minutes into the game almost in this one, so potentially I could have done more. I'm not kind of attacking the gate by accident, but that's alright. There you go, the Butcher is coming in. Gonna punt him away and finish this off. Cool. We have only like 10 seconds left, so we can be pretty aggressive here. We're not really going anywhere else. Just don't want to be out of position when I come out of this Dragon Knight. That'd be pretty bad. Sylvanas has gone pretty low. I actually probably should have popped out of the Dragon Knight right there and tried to burst a combo on her, but oh well, we'll take it. So knock him back, do land the Q, and then I'm going to use my ore to finish her off. So that was the heroic, only charging it a small bit just to land that final burst of damage required to take the Butcher down. So I mean, as you can see, Alarak's burst damage can be quite substantial, like when you land his full combo on someone. But like, the Butcher's got a fair amount of HP for like an assassin. He's got a lot as a melee assassin. And we were able to just burn through that very, very effectively. So that's something you have to watch out for. And bear in mind that like all of these abilities are area damage too. And you're going to see that in some of the later team fights, we're able to output quite a lot of area damage. Our teammates are pushing up top. Right here in the middle, we're there. And we're over here at level 13. I actually made an interesting choice in this game. I went for pure malice. So whenever a nearby ally dies, you get 8% bonus sadism. So 8% bonus damage against heroes. I'm kind of interested to try this one out. I'm not sure if it's going to be your go-to, but it's actually pretty good. There's a bit of a crazy fight going on up here. See, I'm going to start rotating in a second. Okay, let's zoom in. Let's get these talents out of the way. So I'm coming in here. Maybe a little bit slow, but here I go. Great opportunity for a charge. Go through, boom. We actually catch both of them in the silence. Catch both of them with the lightning as well and pull the butcher back and get a few kills off the end of that. I should have rotated quicker there, but it still worked out pretty good. And you can see we already have one stack of sadism, which is kind of nice. You do lose these stacks on death, so up to 40%, but you do lose it when you die. However, what I found, I don't know if this is intended or not, but let's say I die first in the fight and all my allies die afterwards, you still get like 4 stacks of sadism, so that's pretty nice if that happens. You know, you can come back to life at like 32% bonus. The biggest one I've seen is coming back to life with 16%. I've only tried this either in this game or maybe one other game, but it's pretty cool though. I'm interested about this. The other one I'd probably check out on that tier is Dissonance. So you give up some damage, but you get a much longer silence, and that's pretty brutal. See, once again, this is a perfect combo opportunity. And hit her with that. Unfortunately, I was not expecting the enemy to rotate around. Got kind of screwed up right there. Should have dodged the second Vala heroic, but they played it well. The silence from Sylvanas absolutely wrecking both myself and Oriel. She didn't have a chance to heal me before that ran out, or to pop me into the Crystal Aegis. Then the enemy team rotates around, and we actually lose 3 people. So definitely being a bit greedy on my part, going for that kill, but like just very unfortunate, and a timely rotation by Sylvanas, and landing a perfect Wailing Arrow that really screwed us up. If that Wailing Arrow hadn't hit both of us, I think we would have won that fight, or at least put up a stronger fight. So that was a bit of a pity. Spotting the low health Vala, and the greed takes over. But the enemy team is pushing in down bottom and getting a very powerful push. They're actually getting a fort because of my mistake. So here we go. Coming back alive though. I'm pushing down. This butcher might be in a little bit of trouble. They're probably going to steal this. We'll see. Yeah, that's what they're doing. So using the Q to wave clear. As you can see, Alarak, you really don't want to be wave clearing. You're definitely not a solo lane hero by any means. Alright, they're just coming over here. Alright, the butcher's up top. Looks like he's actually going to pick up Vala. Very well done. We're going to have a bit of a butcher throwdown, it looks like. Butcher v butcher. Fortunately, this butcher has a Lily backing him up, so he should win. This is Magic Turtle, by the way. He's been in a couple of our games. Can't get rid of him. I'm just capping this bottom shrine, because I'm down the bottom side of the map. They got a big fight going down over here. But yeah, as Alarak, you're definitely not a laner by any means. Pretty bad at laning. It's just the nature of sadism giving you a bonus against heroes. You're not going to be good against minions or against mercenaries. And then your E only healing against heroes as well. So I was hoping this would be pretty nice. Actually catch both of them in that. Unfortunately, the Lamb to the Slaughter comes down, attempting to catch the Tracer, but it actually caught me. So that was really bad luck. And then we all melt. Tracer's going to die as well. That was really bad luck though. If he hadn't thrown that down to try to catch Tracer, we would have caught him in our silence. And then probably turn that fight around. So that really didn't work out for us. I was like, no, why? Oh yeah, but as you can see here, this must be the only time I've ever picked sadism. But that's giving us 16% bonus sadism, which is pretty fantastic. It definitely adds up. Level 16, by the way, I picked up projected force in this particular game, which gives us minus 10% sadism. So in total with this build, we're getting minus 10 from here and minus 10 from here. But I think these two abilities do synergize pretty well together. This will increase the range of telekinesis, making it easier to land. And then obviously we're pushing people further back. So that's going to combo together very nicely. And let us get some nice picks, hopefully, is the theory anyway. And just be a bit more helpful, bring a bit more utility to our team. And yeah, we'll see how it works out. See, I was testing it right there. One of the things I noticed is that you can, when you cast sadism, or sorry, when you cast telekinesis first, and I'm using quick cast, so that makes it, obviously we can't really see it here, but you start drawing this little line. Now, what I was testing right there was, I was drawing the full line, like, okay, I want to pull them back, kind of thinking intuitively, that will do the maximum push. However, if you draw even just a tiny push, it still fires off the full thing and pushes them just as much. So that should help you out landing your combo, actually, if you do that. See here, hoping to get a nice heroic off. Didn't quite get the one I was happy with, so I'm going to aim it like that through the butcher. Not ideal, but it will do. Catch 2 heroes in the silence. Gonna follow through as well. Getting a little bit low on life, so just sticking with my team. Not quite timing my lightning strike right there, but there we go, we do it okay. Mounting up now, pushing in on the enemy team. That was a pretty nice team fight, the way it worked out. The butcher comes in as well. Nice save by the Oriel, and then pulling Sylvanas back in and landing the combo. Pretty effective there, using those telekinesis talents to ensure we pick that up. And there you go, that worked out pretty nicely. Ooh, the butcher survives on 20-something life. Oh boy. But we get a full team wipe in return. Like I said, this game is pretty good. It's pretty back and forth, and hopefully shows some of the strengths and weaknesses of Alarak, plus some of the things you can do with him, and also some of the mistakes that you may make. Why are we on Vala instead of me? That's not what I wanted. Here we go. There we go. Back to me. Hooray. So you can see when I'm using my abilities and whatnot. Jet, the enemy team is dead. I think at this stage we probably should have taken the bruisers, or maybe even just like brute force down a fort. It's kind of difficult because we're on fairly low life. We don't have a warrior to help us do this stuff, but this is going to be okay. We're going to pick up a few siege camps, so that's something at least. Come down here. Tracer had started the bruisers. They just hard reset though, but going to come in and help her clear them out anyway. And there we go. Not too much happening right now, just... Unfortunately, the way that the enemy team wiped was they wiped pretty much back near our base. By the time we killed them over here, we were all pretty low on life. We didn't have enough to try push down a keep, and there were no minions near us. But anyway, here we go. Coming in here on top of the enemy team. Pulling them back towards us. Not too bad. Firing the lightning on cooldown, trying to land the silence on priority targets. And it's working out pretty well for us. Here we go, triple kill. Gonna do a little bit of extra damage there as well. So that was a pretty nice fight. Again, just using those abilities kind of on cooldown effectively, just to, you know, get as much out of them as is possible. I don't know if I started that out with a great deadly charge. Didn't quite catch that, but oh well. There you go. Getting Lily with the combo. Again, full combo, does quite a bit. That's her Counter-Strike, which is my other heroic. In fact, let's mention that because you do get to select, if you wish, your other heroic at level 20. This is the thing I've just been doing. Deadly Charge at level 10, Counter-Strike at level 20. I'm quite a big fan of this. But that was Deadly Counter-Strike there. You channel for a second, you're protected, just like Medivh does. You can be CC'd out of it, but you can't take any damage, so that's nice. And then... you know, if you take damage from an enemy hero during that time, you will fire out the shockwave again in a large triangle. And as you saw against Sylvanas, does a fair bit of damage. Once again, getting the combo down on Lily, does about half her hit points. So that's pretty good. You can see I'm just looking for a good opportunity once again to deadly charge in. Here we go. It's going to be a big team fight right here. Let's zoom out so you can catch all this. Here's me looking for the deadly charge. Not quite happy with where it's going yet. Moving forwards, just biding my time. We want to make it a good one because it does a lot of damage. Enemy Alarak engages, so we're going in to catch a bunch of the enemy teammates. Unfortunately, I missed up my Q, but we get a huge counter-strike off, does a lot of damage to them, then pull them back with the telekinesis, and our allies follow up, and there we go. The whole enemy team dies. Actually, it doesn't. Lily survives. But yeah, that was pretty good overall. Unfortunately, I did mess up my Q. I was hoping to catch the enemy heroes that were diving us, and that I would have been able to scare the other ones away with the counter-strike deadly charge combo. So... wasn't quite perfect, but it worked out in the end. If we pause it right there, let's go over the talent build one final time and then check out the stats. But yeah, I thought that like team fight at the end kind of showed kind of Alarak working kind of to his best, I guess, apart from missing the Q. But it's like the enemy team engaged, they're kind of committed, they're kind of focused in. Boom, you deadly charge through as many as possible, doing quite a lot of damage. Hopefully silence them. Perhaps it would have been better if I'd silenced the back line actually, instead of trying to silence the front line and missing. But try to silence them, then boom, pop the counter strike to absorb their sort of counter attack damage. Boom, fires it through them, does a whole ton of damage. Their backline is now super low on life, they're in disarray. Fire the lightning strike through, pull them back with the telekinesis. Again, not needing to combo it because we've used the deadly charge to set us up for the Q, in theory, anyway. And yeah, getting nice value off that. So this is the talent build I went for. Probably my favorite one so far. Maybe you could switch up that one at 13. But anyway, it's Applied Force at level 1, which reduces the bonus of sadism by 10%, but makes telekinesis push 20% further. I think it's really useful. Very nice for catching people out of position. It's going to be really interesting to play Alarak with an actual warrior who can like back him up when he's diving, and also, you know, set up stuns so that you can make the most out of telekinesis. It is hard, as you've seen, hopefully, and as you'll see very quickly when you play yourselves. It's very hard to land this. It's a very narrow skill shot, a very, very narrow skill shot. And you know, it does have a little bit of a cast time when you do the little drag. So, you know, you do lose a little bit of time, but do the shortest drag you can. That's what I found at the end of that game when I was testing it out. And the shorter drag does make it easier to land. But anyway, this will obviously combo well, like with a Storm Bolt from Murden or something like that. Double Cross, make it easier to land your Q. Definitely something I've been relying on because it's hard to land. Chaos Reigns, we did finish the quest at the end. Adds a whole bunch of bonus damage on your Q. It really hurts, especially with it being amplified by your sadism. Deadly Charge. I love this at level 10. Amazing at ganking. Does a lot of team fight damage as well if you can get it through the whole enemy team. It's, yeah, it's pretty scary. It's a pretty powerful thing to use. And you saw me use it, I think, to pretty good effect a couple of times in this game. So there's that. Pure Malice is pretty nice, actually. You know, it's pretty good. I can't complain. It's a nice, solid talent. And it works pretty well. I think the other really good option here, again, is Dissonance. So either go, okay, I want a bit of bonus damage, or I want to give up a bit of bonus damage but get more of a silence. I'm not sure which is going to be better, actually. This was better than I expected, but this is obviously really, really good. So I think either option will serve you very well. Level 16, I do like this Projected Force, so giving up a bit of sadism, but we do have this Pure Malice compensating for that, and increasing the range of Telekinesis. I like these two combo together. I could also maybe have gone for the Nimble Mind one, which reduces the cooldown of Telekinesis. That would probably be really good as well. But I found this one was pretty useful, especially against kind of the ranged setup that the enemy team has here, just helping lock them down for my teammates. It was pretty nice. And then Counter-Strike, as you saw, was pretty damn powerful in that final fight. Did a lot of damage and makes you a little bit tankier. And the two do combo together very well. The Deadly Charge, hey, I'm out of position. Boom, I got Counter-Strike though, watch out. And it's kind of nice. If we check out the stats, there are the stats as well. As you see, we actually did a lot of hero damage in that fight. We actually did a substantial amount of siege damage as well. I'd expect you to usually be pretty bad at the siege damage. It's just the nature of the PTR that I'm doing a lot of like lane soaking and lane pushing. Ideally, I think when you're playing Alarak, you're going to be wanting to roam as much as possible, probably like roaming with your 4-man team or something like that, and be getting off ganks. He's going to be very powerful ganks, especially again, like I said, with the warrior. For example, imagine like a Murden dwarf tossing in, landing the Stormbolt, then you follow it up with the Telekinesis Discord Strike combo. It's going to be unreal. Hilariously, I think I've only played one game with a warrior on the PTR, and that was a Sonya, so it didn't really work the same. But yeah, I mean, like, that's the theory. He should work pretty well with a warrior in the team, but he should be fairly vulnerable at the same time to warriors himself. And bruisers and such like that. But I mean, there you go. He's pretty cool. He obviously does a lot of damage when you play him well. And he is fun to play. Not sure yet, obviously, how strong he's going to be. I think there might be a place for him, though. Again, once we actually get to play him in like properly match-made games at a high level, in Hero League and such, and get to see how he's going to pair up against different heroes and in like a team comp played properly with good map strategy, we'll get a much better insight into what he's like. I don't know, I haven't been overly impressed with him. I've been having a pretty tough time in the PTR. However, I'm not the best at melee assassins by any means. Probably my weakest role, apart from Thrall, who I love, and Illidan, who I love as well. But they're more bruisery than melee assassins, whereas Alarak is very much an assassin in the veins of, in the line of Kerrigan or Zeratul. So yeah, they're my weakest type of heroes. So it's hard for me to say. But he might be okay. I'm not sure. Again, we'll stay tuned until we get to try him out properly. But he's pretty fun. I did actually win MVP for this game, so I was pretty happy with myself. And sad I didn't record it properly. But I think it was pretty cool to go into the replay client and see that as well. There you go, guys. That has been Alarak. Give it a like if you liked it. Let me know what you guys think as well. Especially, again, if you've got like a proper made team comp for him. And I will see you all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Bye-bye.